Mattoon took this one at the half and never gave it back as they come out with a 20-17 win. Head coach Chris Wilkerson knows what his team can take away from this game despite it being a shutout loss. Like Ben said earlier, temperatures are dropping, and that's what they're doing here as we move to the ice rink with the Blackhawks taking on the Anaheim Ducks. We begin here with Connor Bedard looking for an opening, but he can't find it. But what he can't find is Jason Dickinson as he slaps it in, and the Hawks are up 1-0. The Ducks tie it up, but that's Bedard and that Dickinson connection again, and that puts the Blackhawks up on top. Now switching gears to the professional level as the Chicago Bears look to snap a 6-game losing streak. We start in the first with Brock Purdy sending this absolute dime over to Juwan Jennings to put the Niners up early on. They can't tack on another 2 touchdowns, but it's Chi-Town's turn as Caleb Williams shows off that rookie connection with that perfect throw to Roma Dunze, putting up the first touchdown of the game for the Bears. Gears to Champaign as the University of Illinois women's basketball team hosts Marquette for the first time since 2010. We begin here as Gretchen Dolan gets the ball and pops it up, burying 3 of her 9 points on the night. It's Genesis Bryant's turn as she gets the ball from Akira Cook and sends this one in no problem, scoring 3 of her 16 points. We begin the night with number 20 ranked Illinois football as they'll play in their second New Year's Bowl in the last 3 seasons. This season, the Fighting Illini will be taking a trip to the Sunshine State, playing in the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl for the first time since 1980. College basketball season is on the horizon, and for the University of Illinois, they're looking at almost a completely new roster. Following the number 6 ranked Fighting Illini's Big Ten tournament win and trip to the Elite 8, Illinois has a restocked roster. 4 of Illinois' 5 starters are gone, including NBA draft pick Terrence Shannon Jr. and Coleman Hawkins, who transferred to moving to Terre Haute as Indiana State football announces December's signing class. That class includes all 14 Sycamores from the Midwest, including Terre Haute High School South quarterback Brady Wilson. The Sycamores also put a focus inside the trenches with 4 defensive linemen and 3 offensive linemen. It's a big weekend of football on the Eastern Illinois University campus, and it all begins with the clash tonight. Mattoon and Charleston football will take on each other for the 12th annual Coles County Clash. The Trojans look to ride a 2-game win streak against the Green Wave dating back to 2021. Mattoon is 1-4 in the season, most recently coming off a 35-20 upset win. Indiana Pacers look to take control of their Round 1 playoff series in Game 4 against the Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks are without both Giannis Antetokounmpo and Damian Lillard in this one, and they're also without Bobby Portis as he's ejected early after throwing a punch. The yearly game is a highly anticipated one, with Charleston facing Mattoon. With this year's Coles County Clash trophy, stay with Charleston or travel to Mattoon with the Green Wave. I was at the game and have the story. There's the World Series, the Super Bowl, and locally, the Coles County Clash. As for the 12th annual Clash, almost 7,000 Mattoon and Charleston fans are fired up. We begin in the first, but Mattoon is marching, with Shaden F. handing the ball off to Tristan Sewell, who trots into the end zone, and Mattoon is up 6-0. This one turns into a turnover frenzy, with Mattoon intercepting the ball and Cale Kimbrough fumbling the ball in the red zone. Luke Bonstetter, as well as Traylon Couch, look to put the Trojans up. Couch gets loose and goes all the way for the 85-yard rushing touchdown. Bonstetter is at it again, this time rolling out and slinging the ball to Braxton Hanner for yet another Charleston touchdown. Mattoon looks to punt the ball away, but Charleston gets a roughing the kicker penalty, which seals the deal for the Green Wave. Mattoon took this one at the half and never gave it back as they come out with a 20-17 win. For head coach Jared Kimbrough, it's about that family connection.
You know, he plays with heart all the time. I don't have to worry about him and what he's doing. So, you know, I'm proud of him. He's a great kid, and he's done everything I've asked in the last, really, 17 years of his life. So, you know, we're a 24-hour rule team. You know, you got these 24 hours to celebrate, and then it's on to the next thing. So they can do that and enjoy their teammates, and then we're all off to work tomorrow.
And his son, Cale Kimbrough, knows that too.
You know, our team and our coaches have a 24-hour rule. We can celebrate this for 24 hours. After that, we're on to the next week. You know, we're going into next week with a lot of momentum.
This second quarter, we're not beating it because of how bad we hate Charleston. We win in the game because how much we love each other. We all work together for each other, and I just want them to know that it's a win for us, not just because we hate them.
I requested to speak with Charleston head coach Brian Halsey, assistant coaches, and Charleston fans, but all denied an interview after the game. Up next for the Green Wave, they ride a 2-game win streak, taking on the Taylorville Tornadoes at home. As for the Trojans, they look to break a 3-game losing streak at home against Mount Zion. Last year, The Effingham St. Anthony boys basketball team finished with a 22-13 record, falling short to Tuscola in the playoffs. This year is looking brighter as the Bulldogs prepare for the upcoming postseason.
We don't dwell on what has happened. You know, one of our sayings is always next play. You know, it's something I've probably said a million times to this group over the last year and the last few years of my 10 years here is next play.
And the key to winning is more than just being the better team. For senior Max Koenig, it's teamwork.
Honestly, we're just a bunch of idiots that like to play basketball, and we get along, so it's pretty easy to share the ball on the court and just have fun with each other.
With the playoffs on the horizon, St. Anthony has determination and the drive for a state title.
Really rewarding for me to see a group of boys put all that together the way they have. As far as postseason, you know, to make those adjustments, really it comes down to just execution. This time of year, most teams are, your identity is what it is, and now it's just about going out there and executing what you do better than somebody else.
We just want to dominate on defense and do what we do on offense. We know that buckets are going to come, but we got to do what we do on defense and make sure that that our offense can live up to what we need it to be.
This isn't an unusual spot for the Bulldogs because over the years, they've won the last 7 out of 9 regional playoff games.
You know, overall, I think to me it means, and what I try to pass on to the boys is that it's always putting your best foot forward. Always trying to be your best when your best is needed, and you know, that's the goal. And if it happens, great. But at least at the end of the day, you know that you've tried and you've given that effort.
We just come out and play every day and just do what we do. We don't really feel pressure. We just know that everybody's coming for us, and everybody, just because we're St. Anthony, we have a target on our back. So we just have to come out and play and just do what we do every day.
In Effingham, I'm Andrew Spaid for WEIU Sports Watch. Did you know one of the world's fastest growing sports has to do with a pickle? Well, not actually, but it's in the name. I caught up with the new club at Eastern Illinois University to see why the sport is so special and attracting so many people. The paddle is a bit larger than ping pong, and the court is smaller than tennis. It's one of the fastest growing sports in the country, and it may not be what you'd expect.
People just found out about it and they were like, whoa, this is a fun game that everyone can play. Cause like, I played it in high school cause we played badminton, tennis, and then this. Cause it's like a game that you can play for like forever when you get old, cause you don't have to move around too much.
Alexis Weger is a student at Eastern Illinois University and spends a lot of time on the court. The pickleball court. She's not the only one. The club's advisor is Josh Norman, who's also Eastern's vice president for enrollment management, and he shares a love for the game.
The thing about pickleball is it is one of the most easy to pick up and inclusive games. I fell into love with it when I was in Huntington Beach, California, visiting my brother, and just saw folks who were older, younger, just from all walks of life, and I just love that. You can be someone who's never played before, walk into the club and feel accepted and welcomed. And so the number one piece of advice I would get is don't be afraid to try it.
But for many players, pickleball is more than just a game.
Once you show up once and you play with someone, you're like, oh, they were fun to play with. I want to come back next week and see if they're here. Because you just come here and make friends, so you want to come back and see them.
It's just, again, from the accessibility standpoint, I've just fallen in love with it because anybody can participate. My son plays, my daughter plays, my wife plays, and we all play together. And so it's just a great social sport that's accessible to all. There's play going on Monday through Wednesday. Typically community play starts at 4:30 on Mondays and Wednesdays, and student play starts on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 5:30 to 7:30. And Saturdays, just everybody joins together, typically at Sister City Park or here in McAfee, and that starts at 7 a.m.
The fun doesn't stop there. Spring Property Management LLC plans to add indoor pickleball courts in Charleston at the location of the old Walmart on Lincoln Avenue. The Charleston Zoning Board approved the concept, but plans are still being reviewed by the public.